This is the ETC OKI C610 color laserjet printer. This is one of the latest in the new range of OKI color desktop printers with a network connection. What we're going to do now is we're going to show you how to set up this printer for use with the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper. When you first get this printer, take it out of the box and place it on a good solid level table. Always use this printer with the front door open and the back door open. This allows your paper to be fed straight through the machine, so it goes in the front and it comes out through the back. This is very important when using laser transfer papers. Because the pigment heats up, it doesn't like to be curled. This way, using the OKI printer, which has nylon guides as opposed to plastic paper guides, you don't have any problems with the paper sticking to the guides. So what we do now is every printer comes with its own setup guide. Here you can see this is a setup guide for the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper, and on this guide it shows you what settings to apply on the OKI printer. This is the ETC t-shirt maker software. You get this software free of charge with the ETC OKI C610N Laserjet Printer. We're the only company that supply this software with the OKI printer. It's a great software package because it a number of free graphic illustrations and clip arts that you are ready to use. The other benefit is that you can view these on the garment before printing, so you know what it's going to look like. So we'll enter this software, and the first thing we'll do is we'll click on New Document. That opens up the next page, and on this page we can select what type of item we want to work with and the paper size, etc. Once we've selected the paper, we go ahead and then we import or insert the graphic image that we want to use. So we go to Insert along the top, and there we've picked one of the images that we want to use, and it simply brings it onto the page there. Now what we can do is we can go to Preview, and that allows us to see how the image looks on different types of garments. So we're happy with that. The next thing we do is we go to File, and then we go to Print Setup. There we identify the printer we want to use, which is the OKI C610, and now we go in and we change the settings to work with the self-cutting paper. So the first thing we do is we change the source to the multi-purpose tray. Then we go to the weight and we change that to labels 2. Next we go to job options, and here we select Pro Q2400, which is right at the top, and we also photo enhance that, which is at the bottom. We click OK, and then we click OK again, and that's the printer set up for that image. Next we go to File and Print. That shows us the image, and on the left hand side there's a button there which says Print Mirror Mode. We click on that, and that automatically mirrors the image. Next we go to Print along the top, and we OK that, and that's the image being sent to the OKI printer. Here you can see the paper has gone through the printer and it has come out the back with the print image on it. So the next thing we want to do is remove the paper from the back tray and get it ready for heat pressing. Here is the printed image, and what we need to do now is we need to cut this out before we heat press this onto the garment. Here we have the cutout of the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper with the image on it. And what we're going to do now is we're going to apply that onto the garment using the heat press. Here we have our garment ready in the heat press for the application of the transfer. The heat press is set at 165 degrees for approximately 20 seconds, but this does vary depending on the type of garment and the heat press. So we'll place the printed paper in position, and we'll cover it with the silicone paper. So now we bring over the head and we heat press as required. The settings do vary depending on humidity, the type of garment and the type of heat press that you're using. That's the heat pressing complete. We remove the silicone paper and we wait for about 8 seconds. Then we carefully remove the laser transfer paper, and that leaves the image on the garment, and it only transfers the image. It doesn't transfer any of the pigment from the paper. Next we will cover that with the silicone paper again and heat press it just for a short period again, and this sets the print and also brings out the color enhancement. There you go. That's a perfect high quality digital type print on the garment using the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper. And what we'll do is we'll show you that along the outline there's no residue, it's only the print, there's no transfer of the pigment. Here we are with Adobe Photoshop Elements on our PC. We have an image already on the screen that we want to print. So all we do is we go to the top and we go to Image and we go to Flip Horizontal, and that mirrors the image for us. Next we go to the top and we go to Print and we go to Print Setup. That opens the page for us, and here we select the OKI C610. Next we go to Properties, and in Properties we go down looking at the source window, and we choose the multi-purpose tray. Next we click on the weight and we go down to Labels 2. We then go to Job Options, and here we click on Pro Q, which is the top one, and we click the bottom one, which is Photo Enhance. We OK that, and that gives us the default window, and we OK that, and we OK that for it to print. Here you can see the image is sent to the printer. The printer is warming up, and the paper is being fed through the front door. That paper will then come out through the back, and there you have the perfect image printed on the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper. Here we have the ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper. The image has been printed onto the paper, and we've trimmed off the edges just to make it easier to place and use. So what we do now is we pick up this paper and we place it onto the t-shirt, which is already in our heat press. We put that in position. The heat press has been set for 20 seconds and a temperature of 165. Now the temperature setting and the time setting can change. It can vary anywhere between 20 to 30 seconds, and this all depends on the type of heat press you have and the type of garment that you're putting the transfer onto. So we've covered the paper with silicone sheet and we will now heat press this. That's our heat press doing its work. And all we have to do is to wait for the 20 seconds. There's the sound. That tells us the time is up. So we now remove the silicone paper, and next we have to wait about 8 seconds, and then after 8 seconds we carefully peel away the transfer paper. This removes the paper and only leaves the printed image. There is no pigment transferred to the garment. You only get the transfer of the printed image. Here you can see the clarity of the image. So what we're going to do now is to set the image. We're going to cover it with the silicone sheet one more time, and we're going to heat press this just for a few seconds, and that brings out a nice gloss finish and it improves the sharpness and definition of the print. That's all it needs, just 2 or 3 seconds, and there you can see the fantastic quality of the print. It looks like digital printing, but it is in fact our ETC self-cutting laser transfer paper. And all that has been transferred there is the printed image, and there is no pigment.